All right, Simbavati guides, welcome. We're going to break down one of the most important skills you have, the art of managing a wildlife sighting. Think of this as your personal study guide. We're going to walk through everything you need to know from your training materials so you can walk into that quiz feeling totally prepared. Okay, let's get into it. So let's start with a really big question. Just think about it for a second. What is it that truly separates a good guide from a great one? We all know how to find the animals, right? But what's that next level? The thing that turns a simple sighting into a memory that lasts a lifetime for your guests. And that's it, right there. It's mastering the art of the sighting. It's so much more than just spotting an animal. It's about managing that entire encounter, ethically, skillfully, for the animal's well-being, for your guests' experience, and for your fellow guides. That's the real craft, and that's what we're going to master today. Here's how we're going to do it. We've broken this down into 3 core pillars. First, ethical positioning and viewing. Then we'll cover guide coordination and ethics. And finally, guest management and access. After all that, we'll do a quick summary and a readiness check to make sure everything's locked in. Let's jump right into Pillar 1, ethical positioning and viewing. Honestly, this is where it all starts. The way you handle your vehicle on approach, well, it sets the tone for the entire encounter. If you nail this part, you're well on your way to an incredible sighting. Okay, listen up because this definition is absolutely foundational. And, it's a huge concept for your quiz. The goal is always a 2-parter. Give your guests an amazing view while, and this is the part that's non-negotiable, causing as little disturbance to the animal as possible. It's all about that balance, and a great guide nails that balance every single time. So how do we actually do that? Well, this slide lays it out perfectly. The unethical way, driving in fast, straight on, that's just a recipe for a stressed out animal and a really short sighting. But the ethical approach, that's about finesse. You come in slow, you come in at an angle, and you're constantly reading the animal's body language. And here's the ultimate test. If the animal's behavior doesn't change one bit, you've done it perfectly. This kind of respect just feels better, and you know what? It leads to way longer, more natural, and much more memorable sightings for everyone. Now let's talk about a couple of specific situations. With predators, it's all about finding that sweet spot, a distance that's safe and respectful but still gives a fantastic clear view. And for night drives, this is a hard and fast rule. You never, ever shine a bright light directly into an animal's eyes. It messes with their night vision, it's disorienting, and it completely disrupts what they're supposed to be doing. Always remember the why behind these rules. It's all about reducing our impact on their world. Awesome! Now let's move on to Pillar 2, because a great sighting is almost never a one-person show. It's all about how we work together as a professional team out in the bush, coordinating with other guides to make sure it's a great experience for all the guests. And, of course, for the animals. So let's run through a classic scenario, something you'll face all the time. The radio buzzes, it's a leopard. You get there and you see 3 vehicles already on the sighting. What do? I know the adrenaline is pumping and you want to get your guests in there, but your training, your professionalism, it calls for something different. And this is that professional response, the sighting rotation protocol. It's actually a really simple 4-step system, and it's all built on patience and good communication. First, you get on the radio to see what's happening. Then you wait respectfully for your turn. You always stick to the vehicle limit, no exceptions. And once you get in, you're mindful of your time so you can rotate out and give someone else a chance. This isn't just about being nice, it's a critical system to keep us from overwhelming the wildlife. And understanding why we have this system is so important. And yep, it's another key point for your quiz. It really boils down to 2 things that are totally connected. Number 1, and most importantly, fewer vehicles means less stress on the animal. And because of that, it creates a way better, more intimate, and less chaotic experience for our guests. It's a total win-win that protects both the animals and the quality of the experience we're providing. Which leads us perfectly into our 3rd and final pillar, guest management and access. We've covered the animal and we've covered the other guides. Now, let's bring the focus right back to the people sitting in your vehicle. This quote from your training materials is pure gold. It's a great reminder that a guest's happiness isn't just about seeing a lion. It's about how they feel. Do they feel like you're on their side? Do they feel like you're trying to give them the best possible view? Managing those expectations by talking to them is just as important as the sighting itself. So how do we make sure every single guest feels taken care of? Well, the basics are right here. Parking at 90 degrees, that's going to block someone's view. The best practice is to aim for a 45-degree angle. It just opens up the sightlines for everybody. But here's a pro tip. Think out loud. Actually, tell your guests what you're doing. Say something like, okay, folks, I'm just going to shift a little bit here to make sure the back row gets a perfect shot. It immediately shows them you're thinking about everyone's experience. And that's the final piece of this puzzle. It's your job to explain our ethical rules not as limitations, but as benefits. When you tell your guests, hey, we're going to wait our turn for a moment, and that means we'll get a much better, quieter view when we go in, they don't just get it, they appreciate it. You're turning what could be a moment of frustration into a sign of a high-quality, respectful safari. All right, team. We've covered the 3 pillars of a fantastic sighting. Now, let's pull it all together and do a quick check to make sure you're feeling 100% ready for this quiz. Think of this as your final cheat sheet. For positioning, the big idea is to minimize disturbance. Your action, a slow, angled approach. For coordination, it's all about fair access. Your action, use that radio and follow the rotation protocol. And for guests, it's about equal opportunity. Your action, park at 45 degrees and talk to them. These are the absolute fundamentals. Okay, time for a quick self-check. Question number 1. Can you explain the main goal of vehicle positioning in your own words? Remember, it's got 2 really important parts. What are they? Go ahead and pause if you need to. All right, next up. That leopard sighting is busy. Can you list out the 4 steps of the rotation protocol you need to follow? See if you can say them out loud right now. And the final check-in, the big why. Can you explain the 2 main reasons we limit the number of vehicles at a sighting? One is for the animal and one is for the guests. How do they connect? Look, if you can answer those 3 questions, you are in great shape. You understand the principles, you know the protocols, and you get the ethics that make a guide truly great. You are absolutely ready. Now go ace that quiz.